Now, modern beauty pageants date back to the 1850s, but it wasn't until 1984 when Vanessa Williams from New York became the first African-American woman to win the coveted crown. Today, from Miss World to Miss Universe and even Miss South Africa, several of such pageants give women of all backgrounds the platform to shine and throw light on the issues begging for attention. And here's one that I think you should know. It's Miss Africa USA pageant. Now, in March this year, Snit Tewoldemedhin made history, becoming the first from Eritrea to win the Miss Africa USA pageant after a 3-year hiatus. Now, that's because of the pandemic, and that pageant was established in 2005 in Atlanta, Georgia, and now it is known, arguably, as the mother of African pageants in the diaspora. Now, that particular stage offers contestants an opportunity to showcase their vibrant and colorful culture, elevating African women as a vessel for change within their communities. And today we're joined in the studio by Queen Snit. She is a 24-year-old senior neuroscience student at the George Mason University right here in Washington to discuss what good that she intends to use her win for. Queen Snit, it's a pleasure to have you at the studios of Voice of America headquarters. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let me take you back to when I was growing up in Ghana. One of my favorite shows was beauty pageants. And I was watching Miss Universe one time, and a lady from Latin America won. And a reporter asked her mother, what do you think made her the winner? And I can never forget what the mom said. She says, it's because she has a kind heart, and you can never go wrong with a kind heart. In 2023, I ask you this question, but what do you think made you the winner out of the 14 contestants, and why did you participate?
Thank you very much for the question. I would start off by explaining how I joined the pageant and how I became a participant. I have been active in the modeling world, but I have never really considered joining the pageant. If I had to be specific, maybe because I'm a bit uncomfortable wearing bikinis.
Okay.
So I would say partly because there is something more that I would want to show and share than just my physical appearance. And I figured Miss Africa USA was not only a God-centered organization, but also a place where women are empowered, they get to share their dreams, and they're supported to make them come true. And I would say that I have been chosen to become the Miss Africa USA of 2023 because it was God's will, and because I think my platform was unique and different, and I did really put all my heart into it, and I am glad that Miss Africa USA was able to see that and give me this title.
Okay, so let's go to what you wrote on the Miss Africa USA official page, and that's because you have a sister who is living with, Down syndrome. And here's what she said, and I quote, just like we don't expect a handicapped person in a wheelchair to go up the stairs, but instead we build wheelchair accessible buildings, I'd love to make adjustments to our current curriculums and make them successfully achievable for children with special needs, end of quote. Let's first begin with you demystifying the long-held beliefs around children with Down syndrome and what this change you're hoping to have would have.
So I'd say back home, starting where I came from, children with special needs are seen more as a burden, as maybe children who have been cursed, maybe as not a really good blessing into the family. And I realized that once I had my sister step into my life, I became more kind towards children. My approach towards them changed completely. And I saw, today I am here with you, and I am the Miss Africa USA 2023 because of her. So clearly she has been a blessing. And if I had to go back to the quote, when there's wheelchair accessible buildings and elevators for us to go upstairs, it's not only the people with wheelchairs who get to use them, but we also get to have that luxury of not having to use the stairs, simplifying our lives. And so I would see children with special needs on that aspect as well. And building things for them, making things accessible for them will also simplify life for us, is what I would say.
Designing for Diversity is a platform that you also have, and that's also geared towards special needs children, particularly those with Down syndrome. You want to talk to us about that?
Yes. So Designing for Diversity talks about, or is based on making a curriculum that is more befitting for children with special needs. And I have noticed that in schools, they might be taken care of, they might be going there, having a good social life, but they're not really seen as someone who can actually learn something and be an asset to society. More of, they would love to give them skills just so they could be independent and maybe not be so much of a burden. But I think if given a chance, these children could actually become someone. It's not only us normal people who get to learn school like everyone else that would get to make a change in this world. They too could make a change if they were given a chance.
Well, and like I said, you hold a neuroscience degree. Currently, you're also teaching at a Montessori preschool. What are you learning from these special needs children, and how is that passion fueling what you want to do for them?
So in order to make Designing for Diversity come to life, I have been working at a Montessori school, which is where I think I got my inspiration from. Montessori, the founder, didn't mean to become a founder of a school or anything. She just happened to be around children with special needs and decided to design some materials that looked like toys, but they were also educational. So as these children were playing with them, they also unintentionally got to learn some skills, mathematical and reading skills. And I wanted to get back to that. That's why I went into neuroscience field, wanting to understand more on how these children interact with the environment, what are the things that trigger them they like, and apply them into the materials that they could potentially use in education.
Your reign is a 12-month reign. You were crowned in March this year, and March next year, your reign would have come to an end. What is your vision, particularly for the African continent, and how do you want to go about achieving that? So
during these 12 months of reign, I would love to maybe visit schools where I could get to inspire other children of opportunities overall, showing them that I am African, I am learning these skills, and I would love Africa to benefit from them. And then I would also like to go back to African countries during my reign and give them some lessons on how to use these materials that I've been using in the Montessori school. I'm also taking some side notes, experimenting with my sister to see what else I could be making, what else I could be adding into it. Maybe this could be seen as a long-term goal, part of making my own school in the future and its headquarters in Africa. But for now, for these 12 months, I think I would just start off by going back to Africa, educating them about special needs and how they're a blessing, not a curse, and also give them some Montessori materials that they could make good use of.
Good on you. And finally, what's your message for future queens or young girls who are looking at you and want to step into that shoe someday?
I would say if I was able to do this, then any other girl who has the dream of becoming a queen could also do it. This, like you just mentioned, is a 12 months reign, but the opportunity is giving me, the space it's giving me to grow, to find the opportunities that I need in order to make my dream come true, more than what I have achieved by far. I'm an example of things could happen for you if you just keep working for them. So go ahead for whatever it is you have in your heart.
Well, Queen Snit, what a pleasure to have you in our studio. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so that was Queen Snit Tewoldemedhin from Eritrea, the 2023 winner of the Miss Africa USA pageant. And you can catch the entire interview on voaafrica.com. I am Ignatius Annor. I thank you for watching. Goodbye.